ได้เลยครับ Here I give you Madame Véronique Schilling. Je vous laisse la parole.
So my pleasure to be with you today. Before I start, I really want to thank Dr. Nanfong Lai, who is the curator of the Art Decoded exhibition. I am in Thailand thanks to her, and I am also in Thailand thanks to Professor Peter Pilgrim, who is here, who I am wearing the beautiful scarf. I know Professor Pilgrim since a long time when he was the head of Winchester School of Art, and we like to work together very closely. He very often came to IFM to talk, to teach in my program, and he is, as you will know, together a painter and a brilliant textile designer, a British designer. So my talk today about creating value in product design to meet international standards. So as I said, I am the program leader of the Global Fashion Management Executive MBA within IFM, which is a leading institution in Paris and worldwide. We have a great campus. You could see on the first slide this beautiful campus, which is on the River Seine. And I am lucky enough to be working for Institut Français de la Mode since more than 35 years. And to be in charge of one very interesting program, which is the Global Fashion Management Executive MBA, which has 20 years of existence, and which we built together with FIT New York and with Hong Kong Polytechnic University, and which is a special part-time program dedicated to senior executive who wants, together with continuing working, study at IFM. So it's a part-time mode, and the students are lucky enough to travel in New York, in Hong Kong and China, and also in Paris, because we have 3 cohorts, one in New York, one in Hong Kong, and one in Paris. You may be asking yourself why I am wearing that outfit, which is a very sportive one. You all know we had a chance to have Paris Olympic Games very recently, and I was lucky enough to work directly with Stéphane Ashpool, who is the artistic director of Le Coq Sportif and who did all the uniforms for the Olympic Games sports people. So I didn't win a gold medal, even if I love Taekwondo. I was not that good to win the gold Taekwondo medal, but I am very proud of wearing that outfit, and even the cup, even if I rarely wear cups, but I wanted you to know that we were very proud of the uniform Stéphane Ashpool designed, and here you can see what he did also, because he didn't only design the uniform for the medals, he also designed the uniform for the sports and for the competition. So this conference, we could call it From Masterpieces to Mementos, which is the beautiful title Nanfong used for the Art Decoded exhibition. So, first of all, I want to show you the summary, because my talk, even if it will be short, it might be a little complex if I don't show you my way. So I will go from the origin of museum product in France. Then I will explain how fashion business strategy could apply to the museum. And I will give some museum example in Paris and in the French region of Burgundy, which is the region I was born in. When Paris is concerned, I will take this opportunity to present you Maison Schiaparelli and the fantastic exhibition Shocking Pink they did at the Musée des Arts Décoratifs in Paris. And I will show you a video that will show you the exhibition because I'm not sure you all had the possibility to be in Paris at that time. And then I will present you the case of 3 museums in Dijon. The first one being the Musée des Beaux-Arts, Fine Arts Museum, which is a city museum. The second one being the Consortium, a private, very famous contemporary museum. Many of the artists who are here today might know the Consortium because that's a really good one. And also the Musée National Magnien, which is a national museum. So, the origin of museum product in France. Everything started with François Ier, King of France, who was the first to introduce the reproduction of sculpture to the court of France. In 1794, so quite a long time after François Ier, the casting workshop of the Louvre, the famous museum, was officially founded. The purpose for that was to do the replicas of the museum and also to give gifts, mainly gifts from the court of France to their friends all over the other courts all around the world. And in 1895, the casting workshop and the conservation of the collection of the Louvre Museum were entrusted to the RMN. Maybe that might be a little complex for you. RMN means Réunion des Musées Nationaux, which means the gathering of all our national museums in France. So in 2010, they created a big body which is called now RMN Grand Palais, which is the merger of the Grand Palais in Paris, which is the building you can see here, where you have all the fashion shows and very famous exhibition in Paris, and the RMN with all the workshops, chalcography, sculpture, and impressive workshop for the artist. And it became the Réunion des Musées Nationaux Grand Palais. The Réunion des Musées Nationaux du Grand Palais, it's a public institution resulting from that merger, and its purpose is to manage and promote 34 national museums and their collection, as well as the Grand Palais des Champs-Élysées in Paris. And it is placed under the supervision of the Ministry of Culture. So here you can see some examples of those national museums: Château de Versailles, Musée de l'Orangerie, Louvre Museum, Musée d'Orsay, and also some museums abroad like the Louvre Abu Dhabi. And of course, very important for France, national museum in the region. That's why I took. So let's go and see the key steps to build a product offer. So we will see the strategic elements and then the tactical elements. So first we have to build the museum vision. Everything starts with a vision. Then we have to undertake competitive benchmarking, very classical in business schools. Then to define the offer structure. Then to define the scales, the sales goals and buying budget. And then to develop and to produce. And of course, this is a cycle and you will need to assess what you did to be able to go on and to improve it year after year. Then I will go deeper into the competitive benchmark, which is an essential tool of the brand strategy in order to define the product offer positioning. So the main goals of the competitive benchmark is, as you may know, to observe and analyze the market, to recognize where you are in the market, and then to change or consolidate your own position. So that's what I tried to do when I was visiting museums all over the place. So if I summarize the product offer segmentation, you will have to set revenue target by product category. You will have to define the number of references, the sales price and the margin. And that's not an easy task, because if we ask Nan Fong to position the beautiful mementos she developed, you shall decide to do it by cost, but you shall also decide to do it another way around. And why do some luxury houses have a 15 multiple as a margin when other companies have only a third multiple? So, of course, this has a lot to do with immaterial elements. It's not only the material element, but the immaterial, all the story and the background that is linked to each product. That's the reason why fashion and luxury are very good examples to apply to museums. So if I go deeper in this product offer segmentation in museum, you will have first to define the customer profiles. You could have done it another way as I did it. I thought that might be interesting to consider 4 customer profiles. The tourists who do only one visit. You come for the first time to Paris, you go to the Louvre, you want to have a little memento of the Louvre. You won't have the same attitude than an art and fashion lover. Of course, you might be both. You might be a tourist and an art and fashion lover. So that's more complex than it appears on the screen. And you might be also an art piece collector. You might be someone that travels all over the place and that only buys the most expensive and exclusive pieces. And so you won't have the same needs and you won't have the same behavior. And of course, you might be still a kid, so you could be the 4 together. And or maybe your parents want you to be introduced at the early age into art and fashion, and they would like you to start learning about beauty, because they think to be a beauty lover might be a plus for you in your life. So depending on the background in which you have been educated, that might be also very different from one person to another. By original and copies, and again, you can have accredited copies made in the RMN workshop, or you can have cheap copies made anywhere. And you may have very different prices. You may have maybe 10 times the price of a statue, depending on the material and the way of execution. So that is just to summarize what I said with some picture example for each category. That was the example of Musée d'Orsay. So let's go with example in Paris first and then in the region. So my first example